What is up, maniacs? Welcome to Sound and Pound with Drake Riggs and Alex Behunin here to bring you the wacky wildness of MMA every single week. As you can see, I am not at home today. I feel like it's going to be really loud. I'm going to be talking very loud in this room as it is a big old media room, hotel room, conference room that I'm in here in San Antonio for PFL San Antonio, kicking off the regular season, all that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about UFC Vegas 90, UFC Atlantic City, almost UFC 300. Alex, I mean, we should probably savor the slowness before it gets to next week. But how
So
we doing,
close.
buddy?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Chilling. Saw that you did the media day with the fighters at PFL. So if anyone's wondering about them, go check it out.
Yes, of course. We just got done with that about 30 minutes or so ago. Talked to pretty much, let me see here, all the main card fighters. Yeah, just about. And then, some of the prelim ones, but they're all in the description there. We only miss Kana Watanabe and Tyler Santos. Tyler getting medicals, and then no translator for Kana, so but it's all right. We will still see them in action, which is what matters most. As Ghost is here, hello, good to see you. Can we call this the mid card era? I mean, we're in a stretch right now, so let's just get right on into it. Maniacal moment of the week, Alex. I feel like this is a pretty clear one, but for you, as we look back on UFC Atlantic City, it was a night of eye pokes. I think. I think that's the big thing. What was the most maniacal to you, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to name any of the eye pokes, but I kind of want to just start with Erin Blanchfield, man. She got big sister, bro. She just got it just I was kind of dumbfounded. I just thought that it would be way more competitive than it was, and it just was not competitive whatsoever. And I was shocked at how bad her striking was. She couldn't get close to Manon at all. It just was it was a pretty horrible performance, man, and it kind of was like, holy shit! We've been watching this girl
Yes,
for a
her whole
long
career.
time,
Her whole
yeah,
career.
her whole career, and it was the first time I'm like, what? Well, holy shit! It's crazy because she beat Talia Santos and she whooped Jessica Andrade, right? So it's like,
Right.
where did that Aaron Blanchfield go to? And obviously, fighters have a bad night, but in a number one contender fight,
Biggest stage, hometown.
yeah, it was not a good performance at all, and like really, like my expectations for her. Obviously, she's only 24 years old.
Right.
She's gonna get better, but like as of right now, man, that was just a big letdown.
Yeah, no, I'm completely in agreement with you, and you were texting me as that was happening. Yeah, it was very interesting. So, I was hanging out with some friends watching. Believe it or not, I was watching this event with Brett. First of all, that's funny. So I wasn't paying as close attention to as I normally was, but from what I saw, obviously first round was her best round, right? I mean, I had that guillotine attempt there, was looking pretty tight. I didn't think there was too serious of a worry there, but with Erin, I'm always going to give her a chance to pull something off like that. And there was there was a phantom tap a little bit, Alex. I don't know if you saw that. Might have been people playing into something a little bit more than they needed to, but I didn't see that initially. When I did, I was like, oh shit, that was a little bit of something. But either way, in the end, I think it was definitely more of a credit to Manon than anything, but I was really surprised by, as the fight went on. I haven't seen the stats or didn't see the stats or anything like that, but the lack of takedown attempts from Aaron almost immediately after that first round was just like, they were just like gone. And I think that's, a combination of two things, which is, of course, Manon preventing them, while at the same time Aaron not trying to go for them, right? I mean, do you think that was a good even? I don't know.
I mean, it seemed like Erin Blanchard wanted to outstrike the striker,
That was the thing, yeah.
and she did not have the striking whatsoever. It was dog shit striking, bro. It was Juliana Pena, Mackenzie Dern striking. It was
Oh,
bad.
don't even.
Oh, it was bad, bro. She was running out like with this fucking Mario punch and shit, bro. Like, god damn.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I want to say that bad.
Oh, it was fuck. Go back and watch it. If you weren't sober, go back and watch it, bro. It was god awful. Dog shit
Yeah.
striking.
No, it was. I mean, either way, like she never. We knew from the beginning that she shouldn't have tried to strike with Furiosa, right? It was poor game planning, kind of on that part. You would assume. I mean, lack of no adjustments, obviously. Um, a lot of regrouping that Aaron needs to do after this performance. But again, it's not the end of the world. It always feels like when this kind of performance happens at this spot where title on the line, right? That you're like, oh geez, she's fucked. She's not though. She's 24, like you said, which is I think the craziest thing and something people have to tone themselves back on. And I haven't really seen people saying she's done or anything stupid like that, thankfully, because not at all the case. It was just yeah,
I mean, there's also another look at this. Like maybe it's the best thing that could have happened to her was to get this loss, because if she would have fought Alexa Grasso or Valentina Shevchenko, she would have got fucked up bad. So like maybe it's the best case scenario. Who knows?
Yeah, that is true. But again, too, it's like, I mean, I'm still not even sure I would believe that she wouldn't fight before then, like just because of the timing of things. Obviously, not that she wouldn't deserve it, but she likes to stay active too. And now I'm fascinated to see how she comes back, of course. But yeah, so I mean, with regards to Manon, though, do you think she'll wait, Alex? Now that's the question.
1000%.
Yeah, I don't see why she would. I didn't see her post fight either, but I'm sure she said something like that. Yeah. That's the fight.
So she got transported to the hospital after the fight. She didn't have one, and I was told it was to check if she had a broken forearm, and so nothing has come out with that. I tried to reach out to her management, haven't heard back. But if she broke her forearm, that's even more impressive.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. So. It's a bummer, of course, as a very clear as a Blanchfield stan and supporter her whole career. I still think she'll be champ one day. I really do. I'm not gonna say this is the end of the world again, but a clear setback. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very telling the next fight, right? If she doesn't grow at all from this, that's the problem.
She also looked so much smaller than Manon. It was kind of like whoa, like it was eye opening.
Yeah, at weigh-ins, that was kind of the thing that stood out, right? I mean, maybe more the height and everything, and Manon looking like fucking a zombie on the scale. And also, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised by this, Alex, because Manon Fiorot, I believe the highest she fought was her debut, that 140 catchweight against Leah McCourt. Either way, she's fought Leah McCourt, who's a featherweight, and arguably won that fight still. So, like, we always knew she was bigger. It was just a matter of, I don't know, needing to see this. I don't know what I'm going with that, but yeah. I mean, so after that, before we kind of move on, and I do have another thing to highlight here, obviously. After that, specifically, and at this moment in time, we still, of course, got to see the trilogy fight between Shevchenko and Grasso. But what percentage do you give Manon of a chance of beating both of them?
I don't, man. I think she could beat Valentina, but I think it'd be close. And Alexa, man, I don't know. I think Alexa is just on a different level right now. I'd say I'd give her like an 80% chance to beat Valentina, and like take a 50-50 fight with Alexa Grasso.
Oh, okay.
Leaning towards like 60-40 for Grasso, like
Okay, yeah. 51-49.
yeah, exactly.
I really like both those matchups, though. So I mean, I think we're in for a treat either way. But also, there is that fear of if Valentina wins, she might be fucked. Knowing the UFC, that's
I mean,
worst case nightmare.
there's always the case too where like they match up Rose and Macy Barber, and Rose goes out there and starches Macy Barber, and Rose gets the title shot.
Oh my god. I mean, even if Macy did it, if she did it in reverse and starched her, which would be obviously fucked up.
Yeah, 1000%.
Jesus, it's really going to be interesting to see this end of this year for the flyweight division, but I'm here for it. Go says maniacal moment. We talk about double jabs, but what about double eye pokes? Very funny. So yeah, that is what I wanted to mention, which is Chris Weidman getting the job done. I guess you could say against Silva there, Bruno Silva, right? I'm glad. I will say this. I'm glad that it wasn't ruled a TKO, which is what it was looking like it was going to be. The decision, the short, like not to the end of the fight decision, that is a thing that has happened before. That's a rule, and that makes sense. And what it is fair to be if it happened like right there, but he got poked before that. It was 2. I mean, this should have been a no contest. Alex, like I thought Chris Weidman obviously looked pretty darn good. He looked pretty good out there, all comparatively to what we had been seeing. But that shouldn't be a win, man. That shouldn't be a win.
I would have leaned more a DQ than a fucking no contest because he poked him twice before, and then this time he poked him twice before knocking him out. Like
they punched him still. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, just bad refereeing throughout the entire card. It was not a good. It was good. Not a good night for the refs. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that. It sucks for Bruno Silva, and then like for Chris to go out on his post fight like, oh, you're not supposed to go down like that. Well, yeah, bro. If you get poked if you get your fucking brain poked through your eyeball, you're gonna fall down, dude. Like what?
Yeah, through both points of entry.
God.
That was gnarly. That was not a fun time. So, what he says he's going to appeal. I mean, we know how that goes. Nothing ever happens. So good. Best of luck to you with that one, Bruno. I doubt we'll see a rematch either. Don't really care for it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But that was fucking gnarly. There were some other bad ones on the card, as I mentioned there. But yeah, that was crazy. I think it was also crazy because I'm not gonna. We don't have to talk too much about this, but I was with a friend who was trying to say it was the punch, and I was like, "Are you like just denying what we fucking clearly saw?" That happened. That was my night, but obviously, yeah, the show's who I'm hanging out with. makes me feel great, right? I got some yes men.
Yeah, don't ever watch fights with them again, ever.
No. 4 ounces of freedom is here. Says just sucks on Manon's end with the age and having to wait out. That is fair, but at the same time, like, and shout out to New York Rick. He said this on the MMA fighting pre-fight show. That at least Manon doesn't have like 30 fights under her belt or some crazy long career, right? Like she still is like under 15 off the top of my head, right? Like she doesn't. Yeah. Here, I got it right here. She's obviously rolling and only lost once, which was that debut. But 13 fights total. Like fight mileage, fight age. She's actually not that old. Of course, 34, but I'd say 36 at the absolute worst and latest. She gets a title shot, and one fight at worst of having to wait between. I don't think it's too terrible, but yeah, it's not the best you'd want to be active with it. But if she has the injury too, then that's a problem. So we'll see. But there's so many little factors in this division, but we'll see. Fight definitely showed that Erin may probably be a 115, but she won't do that to Fatima Klein. He is mentioning there. Well, she's not in the UFC yet either, right? So, I mean, and we've seen crazier things happen between teammates. Not saying it would happen there, but I don't know. That is an interesting thought, Alex. I think that Erin, if she really wanted to, could go to strawweight. I don't think she needs to think about that yet.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy because like I can say that there was some internal talking about Aaron Blanchfield fighting for the bantamweight title.
Right.
So yeah, she got 3 divisions to kind of play with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also not sure like how much weight she cuts. I don't think it's an insane amount for flyweight at all. And for that whole bantamweight idea, I doubt obviously it'd be even less, but yeah, I mean, she's in a good spot to be in the middle. So, well, again, we'll see how it shakes out and how quickly she does want to get back and go from here. When we hear more from her than just the message she put out the other day. Go says Dan Talon picked out a habit that could be exploitable against Manon. Every time she gets pressured, she dips to the rear side. I hope a top flyweight right head kicks her. Oh, so we're seeing a pattern here with the ducking. Makes me think of my boy. He's had that issue in his last fight anyway. So, Hype is here. Sound Pound Army, we appreciate you, sir. God damn right. Let's see. We got some more here, but all right, we'll move along. We will get your questions, of course. Keep them coming. We'll get them all by the end of the show. But if they're not related, we're gonna save them. So let's go to the underrated moment of the week, Alex. I don't think there's a whole lot to. I mean, it started off pretty strong. Some weirdness there, but for you, who's getting the underrated nod?
I think it's two. I think it's Verna beating Loopy. I mean, it's every time, Loopy just can't get over that next hump, right? Like every time she gets either a step up or like a fight that like gets her to that next stop, she always gets she gets beat, and it's tough. It sucks to see. And then the other one is Nate Landwehr, bro. That dude is he's a dog, bro. It is what it is. He is what he is. And he's just so fun to watch. And
that was crazy. I still can't really believe that.
Dude, he got tuned up for the start of that fight and then just comes back and just smokes Jamal Emmers, which is a very good name to have on your resume. And to finish Jamal Emmers is a very good name to have on your resume. Yeah, man, he's just so fun to watch. I recommend it. I asked Nolan to ask him if a fight with Bryce Mitchell would be in it. And he said that's a good fight. So they need to book that and then put them on a world tour to go speak. So
do they? Man, it's really funny. Tell me how you feel about this, but Nate Landwehr to me is kind of like the featherweight division's Mike Perry, except maybe a little bit better.
1000%. Yeah, for sure.
Just like from personality to the way he fights, it's really kind of perplexing.
I mean, that's actually a pretty fantastic comparison.
That's not bad. I don't think that was too bad.
Yeah.
So yes, fantastic performance there, and of course, good shouts to Verna. And I mean, there were some other ones here. I'm looking down the list right now. But for me personally, like, I don't think it's fair to pick in the underrated moment of the week category. But again, for me, I didn't expect Joaquin Buckley to finish Vicente Luque again at all. I was feeling very, very comfortable about Luque getting the job done in that one. And there were jokes yesterday. I'm not even going to really get into that. But do you think that was more of Luque not showing up? Or, I mean, we hate to say that, right? But Buckley to finish him, that was huge.
I think it's just the way he pulled guard, and Vicente Luque never pulls guard. So I don't know if like one of those previous shots had hurt Luque, and it's hard. Like you don't want to say the fire's looking for a way out, right? But like it really seemed that way. But I'm not gonna put that as like my 100% reason why he lost, right? But I don't know. It just like has all of his wars caught up to him.
I think that might be a little bit of it for sure.
That is Joaquin Buckley at welterweight really that guy? Like, there's so many questions about it. But ultimately,
I think his next fight will tell us maybe that
1000%. But ultimately, it comes down to just Joaquin went in there and got the job done.
Yeah. And you saying kind of the wars catching up to Luque. It's like, yeah, this is a guy who had the brain bleed against Neil, right? That was what it was. Like
two fights ago. 2 fights ago.
So I mean, if I was him, I'd probably be close to calling it a career. That's just me. I love Vicente Luque, I really do, but that's especially when you get finished again, like, brother, look out for yourself, please. We don't need anything worse to happen. So yikes. But yeah, for me personally, I think that's a big good choice. Kyle Nelson was impressive though, kind of surprised me there. Goodness, getting Canada a nice win on that one.
Bro, if you would have told me 2 years ago or even last year that Kyle Nelson would be on a 3-fight win streak, I would have said get lost, bro.
See yourself out.
He's on a he's on a 3-fight win streak in the LFA. I would have believed that, bro, but not in UFC. It's crazy, dude. Turned his career around. It's wild.
Yeah, so credit to him, man. That was good stuff. And then also let's give a shout to Julio Arce real quick. I mean, great finish with him, right? I mean, that's always a guy who's been pretty fun, and then to come back that way and get done against Herbert Burns, who I think we've probably seen the last stuff. Probably should. I don't like to say that either, but just the way his last 2 fights have ended,
not good.
Not great at all. And then, okay, last thing on this one before we do move on, but I mean, Malkoun's a soccer kick to the body from my hip knockout. That was what the hell was that, dude?
he was taking out his frustrations for that Cody Brundage loss.
What did you think when that happened? Because like it was confusing as fuck.
At first, I thought Petrosky like hurt his neck with like going in for that shot. That's what I thought. But to knock yourself out on a hip bone, that's
wow, yeah, I mean, it sounds real painful. And then what he showed the cut yesterday or something.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, seriously, this fucking sport, dude. Like, seriously,
it's so stupid. It's such a stupid sport.
I know. What are we doing?
I have no idea.
And Ghost here says underrated moment, Drake playing Hitman. Yeah, so if you didn't see on my personal channel recently, fucking my worst video gaming experience of all time, shameless plug to go check that out. I'm not kidding. It's a absolute nightmare. So if you want to laugh at my misery, you can do that. I condensed the live streams into a 40-minute video. Still, that's how miserable it was. But yeah. For instance, Freedom says Kyle Nelson taking out CFFC champs like nothing. Algio won the title fight, but was over the title limit, but still. So I hear you there. Oh, whoops. Mateo says the last UFC was definitely sponsored by optometrists. Yeah, no kidding there. Business is booming. And then Todd mentioning why does Weidman want to box 50-year-old Anderson Silva? So I didn't hear this. Is this a real thing? Did he say this?
I mean, it's up on the website, and I read a quote, but I didn't really. I don't know. I kind of read some of his quotes. Like he was just basically saying like, "Oh, I have 2 fights left on my deal. There's a bunch of fights out there. Maybe go box. Go."
Joking.
Yeah. Like let Silva get one back. Ha ha ha. So
okay. Fair enough, Chris. But I'm not interested, honestly.
No.
So yeah, we will move along from that now to the Mania main line, Alex. What we are looking forward to most this weekend. We got a good couple of options between events, anyways, and we will also have we'll have Turf War back here momentarily, right, Alex? So
yes.
We can play that game here in a matter of segments. But in terms of what you're personally most looking forward to, top to bottom, across the board in the world of MMA this week, what tickles the fancy the most?
I'm really looking forward to Daniel James coming back. He's rematching Marcelo Gome.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. And then UFC side, I am looking forward to Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis just because I want to see how Brendan has evolved since their first fight. Obviously, he's evolved a lot because he hasn't lost since that first fight. But Brendan likes to get he likes to get into little striking fests, and Chris is not one of those guys that you should probably do that with. So I'm very interested in that. Chris has never been submitted in the UFC, and that's how Brandon Allen wins his fight. So something's got to give. Very looking forward to that. And then Trevor P versus Charlie Campbell, 1000% is the
low key banger.
No, high key
banger.
high key. Someone's going to sleep in the first round, and it's going to be violent. So yeah, that's also Walter Walker, the brother of Johnny Walker's making his UFC debut. Very looking forward to that. So, and of course Ignacio Bahamondes. Always love watching him fight.
Yeah, there are actually kind of some good sprinkles throughout here, if you will. And what is Cherrier's nickname? Pirate something pirate? Or just the pirate?
No, it's the pirate. Fuck, what is it? It's the pirate. It's the pirate. The pirate king.
Something like that.
Hold on. The last pirate.
Ah, okay. All right, there we go. But yes, he's fighting. I'm really excited to see him again after his last fight. Really fun stuff there. And yeah, I know you like Dan Argueta too. Let's give him some love. He'll be back.
That's my bro.
For me though, you already know where I'm going. Fucking GDR's back, boy. Let's go. GDR versus Dump Truck Norma. Let's party, man. I am all in on that one. Especially at bantamweight, where it rightfully should be. Of course, there. Norma, I don't think has been scheduled to fight bantamweight in a good while. And then welcoming back GDR after her pregnancy hiatus, who has still been one of the best. And was her last win really the Pena submission? I think. Let me look real quick here. Yeah, that was in 2020, Alex. It's been 4 years since we've seen GDR, so we will see how at 39 the ring rust potentially factors in on that one. And stylistically, matchup wise, depends really, I think, on what Norma wants to do, because what everybody should, for the most part, want to do against GDR is take her down. I'm not so sure Norma will go right to that well. I think she will be confident in her striking for a little bit, which is where the fight will be most fun. So I'm hoping and looking forward to that one. And then on the PFL side, I can't really pick in terms of a specific fight here, but just the flyweights in general. The flyweights are what I'm most excited for this weekend. And the people I'm most interested in, they're not fighting each other, right? Like, I mean, out of the matchups, I guess the Carmouche and Velasquez trilogy is probably the best one. Santos got a replacement in Alara Joanny coming in here. There's some interesting shakeups that have happened. Sumiko is like not fighting anymore. I don't really know what has happened with kind of those ones or whatnot. I can find out. Have not had the chance yet. But yeah, I think the Carmouche Velasquez trilogy, just because it shouldn't be happening. But the fact that it is, I'm curious to see if third time's a charm for Juliana in the opening round here after back-to-back fights. Liz obviously fought in Lima last time, so she's had a break from Juliana, but interesting. And I mean, let's highlight this, Alex. I'm assuming you weren't watching the media day just now before this, but we got a nugget here that, yeah, it's okay. Juliana Velasquez is now, maybe she'll be mythical Mother Velasquez, because she is now a mom as well in the past 3 months. So we can look out for that one. Some new motivation there. So I guess if I had to pick one specific, it'd be that one. But like Dakota fighting, she's just always awesome entertainment. We'll talk more about her momentarily. But let's make our predictions now for the UFC Vegas 90 main event, Alex. It is the stuff that you just said before I talked about those fights is very interesting with that one, with this rematch between Allen and Curtis. And I still don't care about it too much, but like you laying that out does make it a lot more interesting. I think that Brendan Allen obviously has all the momentum on his side. I mean, he's on the hottest streak in middleweight, like literally, right? Aside from Drakus, obviously. I argue he deserves a title shot because of that right now. Like I don't like to give losers title shots usually, that's kind of my thing. And so Strickland and Adesanya being the two big names, of course, there's the rumor and report floating around now today for UFC 305, right? For Duplessis and Strickland, Duplessis and Adesanya. But yeah, with Brendan Allen here, like I believe in him. I don't remember the first fight very much, Alex, but remind me like if he had success with his grappling in it, because I
Not
think he's
really.
made a lot of strides clearly since then.
Yeah, not really. It was basically all up on the feet. And then Chris caught him and knocked him out just like Strickland did. So and that's the last time Brent Allen has been finished and lost.
Yeah, which is crazy and was a while ago. So a lot has happened since then. But is this they're doing 5 rounds still, right? Because this is a replacement. They're keeping the 5. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. Why don't you throw some thoughts in? Who do you think's getting it done?
I think Brandon's going to win, but I don't know if he's going to finish Chris. Chris hasn't been tapped. He's only been submitted one time. That was back in 2011. He has very good submission defense, very good takedown defense. So I think it's going to go 5 rounds. I think if there is a knockout, probably Chris knocking out Brendan. And if there's a submission, if there's someone that can submit Chris Curtis, it's probably going to be Brendan Allen. So there's all those 3 options are basically up there. But I think I'm going to go to Brendan Allen unanimous decision.
Yeah, that seems like the fair result prediction. I'm sure the odds would agree with that pretty easily too. Yeah, I don't know. I think that just this specific run with Allen too, like it's not like a pure confidence or momentum type of thing for him, because I think he's surprised me in a couple of these fights, getting the job done the way he has. But and I said that he has made a lot of strides and improvements, but I feel like it's been too exclusive to this one area, right? Of like just continuing to get great with his grappling, where there's still reasonable questions about his striking, which in this matchup in particular, like we're saying, is probably striking with Chris Curtis not the best idea from what we've most recently seen. Will he surprise us? Hopefully, that'd be cool, right? But
See, the thing is like Brennan's striking has come a long way, and it's very good, and he has power. It's just he leaves his chin up in the air, and
right.
and when he does, like he gets hit, he is like what he likes to brawl, and Chris is way more accurate on the feet. So like that's like that's what I'm afraid of. But like Brendan's striking has come a long way, and the power he possesses is like he can put somebody down, but he leaves his chin up in the air, and that's what's scary to me.
Yeah, just some defensive holes. And again, if you get cracked hard enough by Chris Curtis, it's going to be a problem. So, yeah, I'm intrigued by that. But in the end, I think he will, especially if the fight goes on longer too. I think that gives him a better chance of maybe, I'm not too worried about Chris Curtis tiring, but just more time and opportunities and wearing on him. He will slow, just a matter of maybe how much. So, yeah, I think I believe Brendan will pull off a submission again. I mean, he's just kind of he's on a roll with those rear nakeds, man. That's what it's gonna be if he does it. So I'm gonna say 4th round to be specific. But yeah, should be interesting. And Ghost chiming in with his mainline. Superbon is fighting against Gregorian and won. So yes, in terms of the striking specifically, that will be a doozy. Can look forward to that one. But all right, with that, we will move on now, Alex, to Spotlightville. Let's take a look at some of those guys on the come up who deserve their shine. I'll just get mine right out of the way, because it's very obviously Dakota Ditcheva week whenever she's fighting at this point. She is, still a prospect as far as I'm concerned, because she's got to kind of get past somebody notable first. That's not going to happen this weekend. No offense, Lisa Malden, but we step by step. She is all action, all entertainment, has all the makings to be that star, that champion, everything in terms of full package. Good personality, amazingly entertaining fighter, right? And beating everyone that everyone that's been put in front of her, she has been beating the way that you would expect someone of like the hype that she's getting to beat them, and you know, it's not. Let's see what an example could be. I don't know, somebody skating by. I'll just say that. Did you have someone? Did you have an example?
No.
But you know, we've seen those times where there'll be a very clear hype train or kind of build on somebody, and then they'll have some performances that aren't always delivering the way Dakota is. So for me, very clear and still like what, just 25-ish. So yeah, that's my side for the ladies. But what do you got?
Yeah, I got two. I got Ben Tynan from One
Ooh,
Championship.
okay, good choice.
You know, it's kind of annoying that the UFC didn't pick him up, and I get why, because he was, wasn't being good guys on the regional scene in LFA, but that's because everybody was pointing out, and he was fighting who was put out in front of him, and he was dominating these guys. So then he finally gets his, he was on the bench for like 8 months in One Championship. They finally gave him a fight in November. Goes out there, chokes the guy out, and now he's fighting Duke Didier. It's just a fantastic name.
That is amazing.
This weekend, and he's 5-0 versus 8-2. He's probably the most, the biggest fight yet. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also, LFA 181, Kwang Lee. Man, he's very fun to watch. And he knocked out Cody Peterson in his last fight, LFA 174, in January. I feel like this guy is like he's really making a push to get on a contender series this year. So he's one to watch.
All right, very nice. Yeah, a good shout with Ben Tynan. Kind of an interesting case, and a little bit shitty because, like you said, had the layoff because one doesn't have a heavyweight division. They don't have MMA divisions anymore, really. So there's that problem.
They don't fight their MMA fighters.
Yeah, that's a thing. So Jesus Christ. Jake Scamp is here. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in for the first time. It's his first time watching. What do you guys do? So we preview and recap kind of the events from the weekend previously and the ones upcoming, answer your questions, give our personal favorites for the specifics of the cards and action going on, as you can see with our segments here, and just overall have a good old time. And then we have a movie club at the end, Jake. So if you're into that kind of stuff, we got you hooked up there. But yeah, just watch along. You'll see real quick what we're about. All right. But from there, we will go to the turf war, which we only get every so often these days. And even this week, it's not even directly head-to-head, like same day. So I still don't know why the event here in San Antonio is on Thursday, Alex. Is it March Madness probably, I'm going to assume, or something?
I wouldn't doubt it. But next week, we got UFC 300 versus PFL 2. PFL Vegas.
Same day?
No, it's okay. Friday, Saturday.
Okay, yeah. But yes. Whoa. Good luck. Mind-blowing timing there. But what are you going to do? Like, nah, really. So this week, though, yes, we have PFL 1, PFL San Antonio versus UFC Vegas 90, which really, I think the more we've talked about this today, the more I feel it's a little closer.
Yeah.
But grades, Alex. Let's do grades for each, which you're more interested in, all that fun stuff.
It's tough because I kind of see them like as the same a little bit, and I cherry pick fights from each one of them. That's how I see. That's how I see both of them. Like I think they're both like B- C cards, to be honest with you. With A or like B matchups. You know what I'm saying? Like very exciting.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like with this PFL one, it's like if you shuffled up some of these, it would really take it up, right?
Yeah, 1000%. Like I really like, Ante versus Valentine. I like Goldsoft versus Cell. I'm interested in the trilogy. I like Dakota, Daniel James versus Marcelo, Talia Santos' PFL debut, Steve Mallory versus Oleg is very interesting. Lucas Brennan versus Dimitri Ivy. Like, there's some fun matchups, and then you go over to the UFC, and there's the main event's interesting. You got Morgan Charrier, you got Ignacio Bahamondes, you got the debut of Walter Walker, you got Trevor Feek versus Troy Campbell, JDR versus Dumont, Dan Argueta versus UFC newcomer, the UFC debut of Cesar Almeida. So like, there's fun ones all throughout. I think until the PFL fixes their pacing, I'm just gonna go automatically with the UFC. Sorry. So until you prove me wrong, UFC.
I really like that because that's pretty fair. And yeah, I mean, this will be kind of the first test, the big test, right? Because I think the events so far actually have been paced pretty well. But this is the regular season kickoff, right?
If we get a 45-minute fucking preview of Ante Delia versus fucking Valentin, I might fucking turn it off. I honestly, like, there's no fucking way you should be able to. You would want to preview this fucking card for more than 5 minutes. There's no fucking way, bro. Like, just highlight who people should be watching and then get to the fights.
Yeah, it's we're gonna really see how many kind of changes have been made this week. That's so true. It's really funny, because we've had our fair share of experience with this whole thing. But yeah, again, I think that's good enough reason again to go for UFC. So I think I'll probably agree with you. But also, like I said, though, I am much more interested in the PFL card in terms of specifics, though. Like, again, the matchups, if they were shaken up and shuffled a little bit, they would kind of elevate this to maximum intrigue and probably give it the edge for me. But like, I'm more curious to see how certain fighters do in these matchups that are pretty favorable. Like Conor versus Shanna Young. That's going to be a massacre. Dakota's fight with Malden also going to be a massacre. Carmouche Velasquez 3 should not go too differently. It really should not. And Tyler Santos, of course, should be Joanny too. I just laid out all 4 of the people who should win in the flyweights, right? And with the heavyweights, it is a bit more, up in the air. I think they did a better job there of giving you even matchups, like Moldavsky and D'Elia. Again, I think that's great. Goltsov, Vassell. Go on. Did you have something there?
No, I was just saying, like, it's a lot of Bellator matchmaking within the PFL. It's like,
it's coming over. Yeah.
Who do we want to win? Who do we want to see go to the second round?
Right. Well, that was always the thing, right? With Bellator was like the favorites would like never lose. Like, they were always real heavy. Right.
Do we want Dakota to lose the first round? No, we don't.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so insider info, kind of. I mean, not really, but like, if you want any more of a giveaway or a tell into that, Lisa Malden wasn't even a part of the lineup today for media day. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta be. Don't make it so fucking obvious.
Like, yeah.
So those are things that they still need to work on, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, in the end here, I'm going to agree with the UFC side, but just by a smidge, ignoring the pacing part, which I do agree with. But I think it's like probably. Well, you said like B- C+ range. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. At best, that's a pretty good spot. And flip flop those. So, all right, that will wrap up Turf War, you guys, and we will move along now to the Drelex Movie Club. I feel like there's more MMA like to talk about, probably because I'm on the scene right now, but that's okay. We don't have to. There's not. I'm just kind of in the zone. So
UFC 300 is next week, baby.
Yes. So we're saving it all for there. It will be coming up. But okay, Alex. not gonna lie to you, I've had no time whatsoever to get to my movies this week. I was gonna watch Dawn on I think it was Friday, but I had such a bad headache that night, just out of nowhere, that I didn't want to affect that. So I'm slacking. But you know what? You have your mulligan in the tank, so this is mine now that I've gotten to use. Did you? I know you watched your solo one here, but did you also do Roadhouse?
Sure did.
Okay, fuck. Well, all right then. We will let you take it away for the most part here. I don't know if I even care about Roadhouse spoilers. Should we move past it? Probably. I don't need to watch it for the review for the show here for the sake of the segment. But I already have I Met With You up on our thing here, so we'll start with that one, which was Alex's other movie, and he texted me about it, which is always an indication that he feels strongly one direction or the other about a movie. So take it away, my friend. What did you think of I Met With You?
It's a pretty dog shit movie, to be honest with you. I mean, who gives a fuck about four shithead people that are gonna that want to kill themselves? Like, I could not care about any of the characters. If they would have killed themselves within the first 30 minutes, I wouldn't have given a fuck. It's just like, bro, it's just like, I don't care. I don't care that you're a failed author. I don't care that you're the IRS is coming after you. I don't care that you're a fucking doctor shopper that like, bro. Yeah. It just the only redeeming thing about it is the soundtrack was bitching. That was like I would go out and buy the soundtrack.
Dune scene. With,
yeah. It's fantastic soundtrack. There was like some like interesting cinematography. I mean, you know, I'm a fucking recovering drug addict, so I appreciate the party scenes, the drugs, and everything. They are just unlikable characters, and I thought the plot was just about a suicide pact was just so fucking stupid. It's just like just like, yeah, it's fucking retarded, bro.
Wow. Okay, so I gotta ask you, did you see it coming? Because I didn't catch on to it until the very end when I first saw the movie.
I mean, after the first dude, after the second guy dies, I mean, yeah, I was like, oh, they're all gonna kill themselves. Like, yeah, I could have seen it coming a mile away.
So I'm gonna have to rewatch. I've watched it a couple times because I do really like this movie. But I think the reason I like it so much and kind of resonated with at the time that I think this is 2011 from what I remember. But a couple of years, I saw it a couple of years after. But I don't know, the friendship factor to me is it really gets me. Like when I think after the first one, when they find him in the bathroom, that scene gets me really, a lot. Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then fucking 5 minutes later, they all hate each other and they're insulting each other. So it's like, oh, yeah, like.
I'm very fascinated to rewatch this now.
Yeah, I was.
What is this, like a 4 or 3 for you? Is it lower?
It's like a 3. It's like a 3. Yeah. Could not care less about 4 shitty people that want to kill themselves. Yeah,
I do remember that they weren't the most likable people.
Yeah, they're just unlikable. They're just like there's nothing that you could like
redeeming.
No, there's like no redeeming factors at all. So yeah.
If there were, though, different story.
Different, yeah, 1000%. But they're just 4 assholes that.
Yeah, I remember Jeremy Piven's character in particular was just like, yeah, fuck this guy. But
yeah.
All right, well, we can't hit all the time, That's I think our lowest rating we've got on the show. So.
yeah, no, it was and then I went back to just to see if I was like way off on it has like a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes and like a
20%
cinema score. So
All right, I guess I was just in a mood. I was in a mood back then. I do really like Tom Jane for the most part, though. Like, I don't think he's the best by any means, but as an actor, I enjoyed his stuff
I just
every
feel
now
like
and then.
it was a waste of 3 actors. Like he's just like a waste.
Yeah, yeah, I know, because like when you look at the cast, you're like, okay, all right,
Yeah, 1000%. And
but
then that's what
yeah,
you get.
that tends to happen actually more than it should, but is what it is. So, okay. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that fucking Roadhouse is automatically better than that in your opinion, which is interesting. Maybe you teased us a little bit, but let's get into
Uh,
it. Let's talk about it.
I mean, yeah, it's better than that fucking movie for sure. But I mean, the perfect review for this movie is do your laundry, wash some dishes, and like work while you're watching this movie. Like that's just the best. Like you don't have to put your full attention to this movie. It's obviously I have a love for the original Roadhouse. That's not the best movie ever either. It's very cheesy, but like
Self-aware.
yeah, 1000%. This was just the fight scenes were like super CGI and choreographed. It just looked like legit, like
Yeah.
Like it literally looked like the fucking MMA fighters warming up in their in their
Oh no.
backstage shit. Like it just but the plot is stories. Okay, Jake Gyllenhaal's fine. He is probably my favorite actor. Like him and Leo kind of go back and forth. And then Conor McGregor, he's just playing a version of himself, ramped up to 577.
So everyone says he's the bright spot. Is that true?
I mean,
All things considered.
if you like hammy acting and
Okay.
him, like yeah, if you like shit acting, yeah, of course, like it's yeah, it's and if you like, yeah, it's like it's just like it's more like like that's Conor McGregor. Oh, look what he's doing. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
he's a badass. Oh, look at that. Oh, he just killed somebody. He just snapped someone's neck.
Yep.
Like it is what it is. Yeah, the big bads in the movie, corny as fuck, super cheesy.
The big what? What did you say?
The big bads, like the bad guys in the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the guys that are pulling all the strings.
Right.
Just super corny. Yeah. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is the best thing in the movie because he's the best actor in the movie.
Right.
And and like he knows. Yeah, I mean, is it his best performance? No, but it's like it's fun, and the movie does poke fun of it. It's like it's not taking itself too seriously, which I think helps it because if it did take it super serious, it'd be like, oh, all right, this is super bad. So yeah, like and the UFC scenes are maybe 45 seconds at the most. It wasn't it wasn't a big plot for it. It's just everybody like it's like hinted at like, oh, we know who you are. Oh, big fan of you, and then it shows him like beating up Jay Haran, and it says that he's like it's kind of convoluted, but I think it's like he killed Jay Haran in the cage.
Oh, really?
But like it's never really said anything.
We got up after I was there. I saw them film it.
Right. So yeah, it's just
dang.
It is what it is. But like if you remember Ronda Rousey was cast for this movie and she was going to star as in the remake, and then she lost and they got the movie pulled from her. So
that's right.
Yeah, and then it came out yesterday that this was the most it's the most watched movie in Amazon Prime history, which I highly doubt that. but I fucking highly doubt that a Roadhouse remake is going to be the most watched Amazon Prime movie. But you know,
There's probably some specifics to it, like, within a certain amount of time, or I
yeah,
don't know.
within like a week.
to be that quickly is insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
All
but
right.
but I do agree. Like if this would have been put out in theaters, it would have bombed. It would have bombed. Like yeah, it wasn't that good. It's a cheesy
Right.
B movie action movie is what it is.
So last thing on this, do you think the reason, because I've seen like everyone say it's like all right or good, I haven't seen anyone say it fucking sucks or anything, but do you think that's because it's like for an MMA movie, right, like a fighting movie, and it's lucky to get some good ones of those, right? Like Warrior's still number one for
Yeah,
me.
1000%. I mean, it's not an MMA movie at all. Like it's not. It has the UFC in it. That's it.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
other than that, it's a bartender beating at people. But it's not an
A
MMA
fight
movie.
then.
Yeah,
A fight
yeah,
movie.
yeah. It has fighting in it. Like like it's not like a It's I wouldn't even call it a. It's an action movie more than a fight
Okay.
movie. So
Yeah.
I am a film snob. So right, like so I judge movies differently. Like if you just want to go, you know, watch a movie with your friends with a couple beers and watch a movie, like this is probably it. But it's not great. It's like you'll probably enjoy it drunk, or you probably enjoy it more intoxicated than sober. So
Surely. All right. So that is Roadhouse, and I'm not surprised. Yeah, I probably won't get around to it now, so that's all right. That's okay. I mean, if it is on the plane, I guess on the way home, we'll see. But probably more better off sleeping or something. But okay. So with that, as we continue the tradition of the Dre Movie Club, I will still stick with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, of course. Got to get to that one, and I'm still very excited to. But I got to give Alex a new one here, which my list has actually been whittled down pretty solidly after Oscar season and last week. Last week I threw a couple at you that you'd seen. So all right, I have a feeling you've probably seen this one, and we're sticking kind of in the realm of drugs, but Dope from 2015.
yes,
Yeah, did you like that one?
I love that movie.
Yeah, great one.
I was gonna recommend it to you in a couple of weeks.
I think I saw it in theaters. Even I was like, that looks like it's gonna be kind of hidden gem, kind of good, and it was pretty solid. All right, let's go with this movie, which I saw right before we started the podcast and our movie club. I know you hadn't seen it at the time, so I'm going to assume you haven't watched it since then. But The Swimmers from 2022.
The Swimmers. The Swimmers. Is it a documentary?
No, it's what is it? Would considered a biopic? It's a true story about the sisters and the Olympic swimming one.
Oh, I see, the War Torn. Okay. Yeah, no, I have not seen that.
Yes. So there you go. All right. Which that was another one. I was like, oh, I didn't know this story. Good stuff. Pretty crazy. So you guys can watch along with Alex with that one, and also on the Planet of the Apes trilogy if you would like with me, which I'm right in the middle, and I will get to that before next week, of course. All right. So on that note, let's wrap things up with the questions we have yet to get to. Q&A portion. I still haven't eaten today, so let's get going here. All right, starting things off. Todd has these might all be from Todd, so we appreciate you, sir. But yeah, let's look at him. He says, "What would Curtis Blades' strategy be against Tom Aspinall?" Well, in theory, you would have to think with Curtis Blades, he's always. I don't think as much anymore, Alex, as recent years, always looking to get things to the ground, but that's clearly his best path to victory all the time because he's an absolute menace on top. And razor blades for a reason, but also hammer fists now, as we saw from his last fight. Not that those weren't always there, but we've seen, him live up to the nickname. I mean, against Aspinall, it's like Tom has proven to be incredibly well-rounded, right? But we haven't still really seen him on his back. So I think just going that traditional wrestling route is the way you'd want to go especially between those two specifically, right? I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, you better take Tom Aspinall down as fast as possible.
Yeah, the precision of that guy and the power, he's got it all on the feet. And Todd is also asking, who's the front runner to fight Alex Pereira at UFC 301 in Brazil, or is it too unrealistic for Pereira to turn around that quick?
He's not fighting at UFC 301.
Yeah,
next question.
Yeah, not happening. But the front runner, you'd have to think, would be Ankalaev. We'll see more when we get there. There's some kind of silly comments in here, which I thought were fun to read. As he says, Mickey Gall is part of the mafia that controls the UFC. He bit Diego Sanchez and was not cut. And he's coming back, actually. So, conspiracy. Yeah, there you go. Who has a bigger head, Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz or Vicente Luque? I mean, the answer is Tito. So there's that. He's got the biggest head in all of sports. Do you think Shara Magomadov is vulnerable to high kicks to his blind eye? So is it confirmed and true that eye is actually blind, Alex? That's why I wanted to pull this one up.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Yeah. I've asked some people close to him as well, and not like super close, but who have, know him and stuff like that. And they're like, I don't think it's an issue. And his next fight will still not be over here stateside where he's got to worry about these types of commissions and stuff. But if he is, then yeah, he would most certainly be blind to him. But he's been fine so far. Why do some fighters fight scared and some don't? Is it really the fear of the takedown? This is just a situational thing. Kind of depends on the matchups and all that. And even for the most part, I don't know if I'd say fighters fight scared. It's just it's again, optics. Because, getting into the cage in the first place is an insane thing. He's asking now, John Dodson said that he regretted fighting at 135 because UFC pushed him to do it and that he would knock out Alexandre Pantoja at 125 at MMA. I believe him. Am I stupid? I won't say you're stupid, Todd, but I don't think Dodson would have or would beat Pantoja. I think that's a pretty interesting matchup, Alex, but I don't know. I just feel like I think after so many fights, and maybe more so at flyweight, I'd have to look at his exact record, but I feel like John Dodson's knockout power got a little bit blown out of proportion over time because he racked up a bunch pretty early on, right? Especially for the weight class and everything, knocking out Dillashaw and some of the other guys that he did. But I would be pretty stunned if that was to happen in a fight between those two. So,
yeah, 1,000%.
Then we got, why do you think Junior Santos ran away from Alan Belcher instead of pressuring the smaller man? JDS nose broke because he ran away. So I didn't actually see that fight, Alex, but he finished him, didn't he?
Yeah, he finished him. So
running away to the finish. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ignore some of these silly ones now. I appreciate the engagement, though, regardless, Todd. This is a good question, though. Tough one, too, I think, Alex, as Todd asks, what's harder, to fight 3 times in one night or the PFL tournament? There's so many different ways you can assess, the feeling of, 3 fights in one night. The fact that, is it easier to not prepare and overthink things? Just go in there and just do it. And then with the PFL, it's multiple weight cuts in the span. I don't know. What do you lean towards?
I would think a fighter would probably want to fight 3 times in one night, then do it over a year because of the weight cuts.
Right.
But then again, if a fighter doesn't have brutal weight cuts, maybe they want to fight 4 times in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's literally up up to the individual fighter.
Yeah. Because in a general sense, your mind just kind of goes to three fights in one night. It's kind of like, ooh. So yeah, but again, very situational one, but an interesting question. Skip that one too, and probably that one. But what do we got here? Okay, so we'll close up here with is Rebellis displaying a legit threat to Tom Aspinall? Too soon to say, but
Probably not.
yeah. Did he just get his next fight booked?
He's fighting Waldo Acosta.
Okay.
Cortez Acosta.
So I think this is an appropriate build for him, kind of take it a little bit slower and all that. But yeah, no, far too soon to say so. He has all of the physical makings to be, right? Like that's the thing. That guy's athleticism and all that. But we got to be careful with saying that.
We haven't seen him go past one round, and we haven't seen him get taken down yet. And until we've seen that,
answer is no.
Yeah, no, no, zero threat.
Exactly. So, all right, we appreciate all of those, Todd. You are the man. But on that note, we will wrap it up here. Another episode of Sound in the Books, 25 quarter. Boy, oh boy. Next week's show is going to be a doozy, ain't it? We'll have plenty. I don't know how we're going to organize all of the talking points there. I'll have to figure that one out. But until then, I've been Drake Riggs. He's been Alex Behunin at Drake Riggs _ at Alex Behunin. Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on MMA Mania, all the social platforms, wherever you are on things, we are there. Follow us there. As for our shameless plugs and all that good stuff, obviously PFL San Antonio coverage coming at you. As that is what I'm doing here. Got interviews with Liz Carmouche and Dakota Ditcheva before today, but then there's all the ones we just did at Media Day that were a little bit more on the fun side since we already talked to them. But yeah, that's pretty much just my main focus this week. But Alex, for you, tidbits and anything else, my man.
Yeah, I have random tidbits. UFC Vegas 90 Media Day will be tomorrow, and I have a story about Daniel James wanting to give back to Chicago that will be coming out before the fight on Thursday.
All right, there you go, guys. So look forward to that, and look forward to all the coverage as per usual. So until next week, you guys, same time, same place on the internet. I'll be back home. So until then, get ready for UFC 300. Enjoy this weekend. We will see you next week. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Peace.